I hope that in the near future, in a decade or so, Singapore will continue to be the, say, top 10 food secure nations in the world. One of the vulnerabilities that we have is actually our dependence on imports, as well as our lack of natural resources, which makes us rather vulnerable, to say, climate change and so on and so forth. So my hope is that it will still be within the top 10. We're now fourth, but within the top 10, I think should be something we want to continue to strive for. Top 10 as measured by the Food Security Index is by no means something that is that should lull us into a time of complacency, but it means we have to continuously review our strategies, our policies, to make sure that food continues to be available, accessible, affordable, and it is safe and nutritious for our population in Singapore. Science and technology are what I would call enablers. They enable us to look at different ways of food production. Right? So if you go into deep science of things on how food is produced, even at the cellular level, it will help you to have new ways of production, for example. Engineering technology will help you with better systems that will make your systems more efficient, make your systems, say, more productive, so that you don't have to rely just on pure manual work to do all your production. Or if you have good technology and systems, it can also help you to intensify the production, be it an indoor and an outdoor kind of system. Every time there is something new, it's always a steep, what we call learning curve, to get people to accept, to acknowledge that these are good alternatives. So it could be, food futures, could be meat that is grown in the lab, which is not the traditional form of, say, taking the meat from livestock, from a chicken or a cow. So will people accept? Then the other one, which you mentioned, is about insects. Would people want to eat insects? Well, insects is the next big thing, as mentioned by FAO. They have done a study on how insects can provide the next protein for human beings. So in order to get people to accept these new forms of food, number one, you have to be able to convince them that it is safe. Number two, it is nutritious. And thirdly, it must be tasty, because we all love our food, so you must make sure it is tasty. And finally, it must be presentability, so that it can get rid of that yuck factor. Like what people say, you want it to be from yucky to tasty. So the question is, how do you do that? Communications, as you know, is always a long process. When there's no crisis, when there's a lot of food, a lot of options, people may not think of these unconventional foods. But maybe even during good times, during peace times, we could continuously bring into a mindshare of people the availability of such alternative forms. So in case when things happen, they will be able to accept all these new kinds of food, in case there's a crisis and the traditional forms are not available. So it takes time, as with all comms and outreach program. And for different groups of people, you need different forms of communication. Say for the younger people, maybe we want something that tugs at their heartstrings, remind them that new forms of food production are more sustainable. It helps to sustain the environment. It helps in the greening, instead of having more greenhouse emissions and so on and so forth when you have traditional, say, livestock farming. So it's a process, and progressively we hope more people will come to accept new forms of food production. But it is not sexy right now, because people associate farming with tilling the soil, with it being very back-breaking, so I'm sure if some of us know the old song, planting rice is no fun. You are banned from morn till set of sun. So that image has been there quite a lot. But as we focus on technology, focus on new ways of production, and even in environments, in the air-conditioned controlled environment, maybe we can attract more people. So you must sell the skills that it takes to do farming. No longer the kind of manual work, but skill sets that could come from or could be applied to any other manufacturing process, for example. Right? It could be science, it could be research, and it could be technology. It could even be use of smart technology, use of big data, and so on. Right? If you want to do precision farming, you need to have a lot of data to know what will work, what will be required to make sure that, say, your vegetables grow well. That's where precision farming comes in. It's not about tilling the soil. It is about having all the information to know what kind of nutrients, say, the vegetables will need. So sell the skill sets that will be needed. Right? And these skill sets are applicable whether you're in farming or in any other industrialized systems, for example.